Hey, I want to show you something that I created during a therapy session. I'm a therapist and I was working with this person. We were talking about the person's family and some of the situations they were experiencing with their family and that they had experienced with their family since they were born, pretty much. As I discussed these relationships that this person had with their family, there was some dynamics I could see in the individual I was working with that was also part of the people they were talking about, that I recognized as also part of me and part of everyone I know. And I just started to draw this thing I think of as a key, because it's a drawing of the four aspects of human consciousness that we all share, that if you recognize this key as a map of those different areas of our awareness, you can then have conversations that are more specific, where you can have greater continuity in the points each person makes during the conversation, because you kind of keep track of what each person is saying on the map while you talk. That'll make more sense in just a minute when I've shown you the picture. Okay, so this is the Yin Yang Snowman. Okay. The Yin Yang Snowman is a drawing that's just, it's like geometry. It's just a math tool. Let's think of it almost like it's a reality tool. It shows, it's like a drawing of a cell in biology or something. It's an abstraction, an attempt to illustrate a point, okay? So it's not like I'm about some religious point of view where I'm into yin yangs and I want you to be too, okay? I'm explaining something. The Yin Yang Snowman is kind of a cheerful little tool, or key, as I said, to understanding what really lies within all of us as people, that we need to understand if we're going to be able to work better as people, with the people we love, people we work with, or even total strangers that we have to interact with in the world. So, Yin Yang Snowman is the idea that we all have adult self and child self within our greater sense of self. And that each of these spheres or centers to our awareness or being has two sides, like the moon. You know, the lit up side and the dark side of the moon. And so the child mind has a part that I refer to as the child mind, simply, because it's the part we think of when we think of a child being a creature of wonder and discovery and excitement and enthusiasm and zest for life. Child mind is sort of our sweet spot in life. It's the epicenter of joy and emotions that are fundamental and primary to who we are. The childish mind is, you know, it's sort of the dark side of the moon here. It's the part of us that if our child mind doesn't get what it needs, we might feel a little hurt inside. And because of that, we may sink in our emotions down to our childish mind. Now, a normal time we all experience childish mind is when we're hungry, angry, let down, thirsty, dehydrated. It's a good one. Watch out. Drink your water, right? All right, so childish mind is a place we end up. Tired, had a tough afternoon. Thing after thing goes wrong. You think, this day, is it ever going to end? We've all been there, okay? So childish mind is a place we all can end up. And that's important, the understanding that this key is about all of us. And this key helps describe all of us. And we all have childish mind and child mind in our child self. Our adult self, we have what I call integrity mind or parent mind, because this is a awareness that sees both sides to the coin in every situation. Meaning, if a parent has two kids who have a disagreement, the two kids come to me, the parent, and say, you know, Johnny hit me, Sally spit in my face. Two conflicting stories, they both say the other started it. How do I sort this out? I need parent mind or integrity mind. I need to reserve judgment. I need to find out information, assess, like a therapist or a doctor does, if they're practicing well. And when I assess, I will recognize the two sides of the coin, both sides of the story that, you know, people would potentially rally around as a polarized narrative, you know. And as that integrity parent mind, we try to arrive at mutually beneficial outcomes, agreements, compromises. We try to come to solutions. And that involves looking at two sides of any coin. It's like the peace sign thing. We want to see both sides, not just one side. That always causes the conflict because that refusal to see the other side, which we call denial when it's practiced, is the thing that really breaks down relationship. So let's go back to that, okay, denial. Denial is the work of righteous mind. It is an adult self, and it is useful in certain situations, okay? So, again, we use the yin yang for this purpose specifically here, because righteous mind is very important to have with integrity mind, okay? This is called assertiveness. Assertiveness is when we have enough righteous mind in our parent mind or integrity mind. That combination is winning. You want to be on this side of the balance where you're dominated by a drive to find out the whole truth, both sides of the coin. I kind of draw the infinity sign as a representation of that in terms of following your awareness or allowing, as an observer, your awareness to cover the full spectrum of any narrative or situation, relationship situation. Okay, so in any case, that's the adult self, the integrity mind or parent mind, with that little bit of righteous mind up in the mix so that we can be assertive. That's an orientation that works well. If all adults practice that, we would have a very responsible world, very accountable world, okay? But a lot of times people like to go to righteous mind. Now let's talk about righteous mind. Righteous mind has as its priority gaining the right to be right. And from that place to decide that I am right, you are wrong, I have the power, you do not, I should call the shots, you should not, okay? This is called my way or the highway. It's a childish mind, righteous mind conspiracy. Let's write it down. My way or the highway. Okay, we've all had a lot of relationship experiences with this. In some ways, we all have moments of that, right? And in a way, that is where that righteous mind fits in up here. Okay, like my way or the highway on things like a child will not be molested in this world again if we all practice parent mind, integrity mind. Meaning, a child is a person. People who are going to have sex need the right to choose as adults. So that's not possible for a child. So it's flat out wrong. So we will use enough righteous mind in our integrity mind to say, so that can never happen. My way or the highway on that issue, we say collectively. And we call that a crime. And we should punish that with utmost severity and carefulness, because that's the kind of thing that if we don't handle it right, we allow problems that should be exterminated to grow. And that is not what any of us want. This is important stuff. This is the plan out of here, okay? So we have to understand the my way or the highway. When that gets in charge instead of just being an element of responsibility, when that gets in charge, it looks like people saying, oh, if people are poor, get a job. Well, the problem with that simple answer to that is a lot of people who are working 2 full-time jobs are still poor because of inflation and the level of responsibilities they may have, caring for elder parents or whatever. So in this kind of situation, we need to understand the complex perspective, which is the integrity mind or parent mind's role, okay? Meaning, if we say that to someone who's poor, we better find out and do the assessment work, find out what else is causing this person to experience poverty, and then we'll have the whole story. Then we're back to the parent mind, child mind circuit or loop, okay? This is a great conspiracy that isn't really a conspiracy. It just happens naturally when you really follow your child mind bliss and your adult mind responsibility. Okay, this combination is winning. You get a parent mind looking out for the child mind within yourself. I happen to like to throw frisbees, so the parent mind in me finds out who are the best frisbee throwers in town, how can I go throw with them. I figure out what time they meet, where to be. I do all that. Okay, my parent mind's looking out for my child mind. Okay, my child mind gets out there and I have a good time. I learn and grow. That pays back my parent mind because my parent mind gets to enjoy the fun of being out there learning how to throw better with great throwers, okay? That's a simple example of how this process can work. Another example, my child likes to dance, I see that, so I, the adult, sign them up for a dance class, and I actually don't just do this once, I do this for as long as that child shows an interest without stopping, so that that child may become a true dancer, or even if they don't go professional, they may teach their child, your grandchild, to dance. So as the parent, you come through and you pay for that, and you go forever to those dance classes supporting that till that child doesn't want it, not until you decide to shortchange that kid. We're talking parent mind, no more righteous mind. No thank you, righteous mind. You can go take a seat somewhere else in some other room, some other building, far away from the people who want to support the adult mind of integrity and our true inner child needs, okay? That's the winning combination. This is the Yin Yang Snowman. I think it's a key to us being able to all talk about ourselves and where we go when we get funky and how we can stop doing that, okay? Let's all draw these pictures together when we have conversations. Let's look at the map, and if I say to you, hey, well, it's true that I was feeling pretty childish-minded because I was really thirsty and hungry, hadn't eaten for hours. That's why I snapped when I came home and there wasn't food. I know I was kind of being a jerk. Then you, the listener, say, that's totally fine, because I see when you point at this that you didn't mean to, but I was in that same childish mind place too, because I was starving too. So I can really understand where you were coming from. Hey, isn't it nice how we understand each other? It's wonderful. Let's keep it up, and let's not bother being righteous-minded and childish-minded anymore. I'm sick of it, okay, and I think you are too. But we can't point the finger and ask someone else to change. We need to get responsible with our childish mind, our righteous mind. We need to take good care of our child mind. We need to get all of us into these upper zones of integrity, parent mind, where we allow both sides of the story and we're monitors of peace in the world, not where we suddenly need to Freudian slip, duck back into this defensive righteous-minded state because we don't want the whole story, because we know we were kind of selfishly trying to get ahead of our child or our friend or our wife or whoever it is, you know? It's time to get serious here, and the serious people want to move it up, okay? Now, there's no judgment here, okay? Because the whole point is this is all about owning that we all have the childish mind downtown and the righteous mind where we want to go up and be high and mighty, okay? And that is not where we want to be. We don't want to be the extremes. We want to come down in the middle range where we have some balance, some wholeness, the integrity mind and the child mind working together, the parent and child. We want to rebuild all relationships in the world from that inclusive, empowered standpoint, where both people in the relationship have the power to communicate, to speak, and to demand that at least their needs be validated before judged. Okay? So that means heard before thrown away. It's both sides of the story, rather than I automatically get to not listen to you because I bought you new sneakers yesterday. Or whatever other righteous-minded, supposedly parent-minded trip we try to pull with that little bit of parent mind we can hide in our righteous mind. Okay? That's the wrong side of the balance. There is such a thing as getting on the right side of the balance. It's always a balance, but there is a right side of the balance. And we know the right side because of the simple barometer of what would we like if we were the recipient, okay? We call that the golden rule. I call it the golden way. And this is a key to the golden way. Let's start using it.